Hello everyone, No Life here, and today we have the patch notes for the March 28th update coming in. So first and foremost, this update of course is mainly here to be adding our new victim Virginia as well as the mill map to the game. So look forward to both of those things on the 28th. Unfortunately, as I said in my last video, we'll not be getting any new family member added to the game. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys right now, there's not going to be any new buffs, reworks, or anything for the family, or even Sunny for this matter. I'm actually very disappointed to hear that. They have had around 45 days to have put some more fixes into the game, and I can already tell you that the list I'm about to read off is only very disappointing 25 fixes. Now, granted, there are some pretty good fixes in this bug fix here, or patch, I should say, but again, with there being a new victim and no fan member, besides the new map that I have to look forward to, I mean, there's not really anything for the family that's updating it, man. This is going to be a disaster. The victim queues are going to be horrendous. And at this point, I'm really hoping that another 45 days or less, they can add that new fan member. And just something to incentivize people to play victim at, because at this point, then this is going to flip flop and we're going to have long family queues and short victim queues. So I'm going to get into more detail as to what they could add in a little bit, but I can definitely tell you that there needs to be some more victim cosmetics by the time we get that family member added. Just something to, you know, incentivize victims to play victims when a family member comes, and get these queues a bit more balanced. I'd also would like for them to, by the time a new family member comes out, again, nerf the victims a bit and buff the family members, just so after the high of having a new character is gone, again, we still have an incentive to play family member besides, the whole brand new car smell of a new character to the family side. But I feel like I'm getting on a bit of a tangent, so we're going to go ahead and read over these patch notes. So first and foremost here, we have Julie's proximity ore. Now this is actually a bug fix I reported myself, so I'm not going to toot my own horn here, but I can say that I definitely gave the team some information they needed to go ahead and get this fixed. So I'm very glad to see that going here as Julie's proximity being larger than other victims, for those of you who do not know, means that that yellow border around your screen, which shows up when a family member is getting close, it was a lot further away from for Julie than others, which led to some awkward moments, which I'm going to be showing right here on the screen. Anna, you just fucking killed me! Why did you come over the barricade? Excuse my French.
Fuck's sakes, bro. Put this bitch on YouTube, like the sandbag.
Definitely not one of my fighter moments, but moving on. Next, we have Nancy's Wait a Second perk. Unfortunately, this perk has been nerfed, which I'm honestly not too mad about, as previously its numbers were 10, 15, and 20 seconds of you not being able to remove a barbed wire after you've been snared. Its new numbers will now be 3, 5, and 8 seconds. So I personally think this will still be rather strong, as you won't get any moments where a victim will be able to quickly remove barbed wire while you go around to catch them out at the gap. But it's not going to be the egregious, again, up to 20 seconds, which at this point, if you have someone on your tail, you don't have a well to jump down, you're pretty much screwed. So, next up here, we have credits that were added for Cissy Jones and Michael Johnson. That is the actors for Nancy and Danny, respectively. They also wanted to point out that Cissy Jones did both the voice acting and mocap for Nancy, so you go, girl. We also have a fix for the family member soft lock. Now, for those of you who do not know, when Johnny and Sissy's cosmetics were added to the game, unfortunately, soft locking issues were added back to the game. So, what this basically means is that when you were out of stamina and you were stunned, whether it had been by Leland's barge, a door slam, or a sneak attack, your character would be unable to interact with the game, attacked. They'd still be able to use the ability, strangely, but again, oh, you're also able to even still somehow kill a victim in a close encounter, which was nuts. And I actually should have saved a clip for that in hindsight, but again, definitely glad it was fixed, as it was not a fun moment to have happen. Excuse the sound of me getting a text message, by the way. Next, we have the choose fight perk. Now, this was actually pretty bad, and I noticed it like almost immediately too. But somehow the last update just redacted the fix to choose fight, which made it so you will now stun family members from winning in a close counter, which it previously did not for a very long time. So I'm glad they fixed that, as I had a lot of moments where I fight Hitchhiker, I try to go down a ladder or something, he immediately jumps up and hits me, and I'm like, huh? You're supposed to be stunned. Why did you still hit me there? So again, I'm glad that was changed. We have Nicotero's chainsaw audio on the Leatherface variants. Previously, it was doing the default chainsaw sound, but you had the Nicotero saw. Now it will properly have the Nicotero sound on the all across all the skins for Leatherface. Now, I do not believe they changed the fact that Nicotero Leatherface couldn't use any of the other saws. He was forced to use his Nicotero saw, but who knows? Maybe they forgot to add that in, or there was some sort of miscommunication. He would be able to use different saws in the skin, but we shall find out. Now we have the lobby timer countdown not showing. This it was an issue here that caused it countdown to not show the last 5 seconds before a game started. Now I wish they actually changed it so it appropriately showed the last 30 seconds. You know, when all five people ready up. I think that'd be a lot better of an idea instead of just the last 5 seconds. Oh, the last 5 seconds tells you this game's about to start. Whereas if they showed the last 30 seconds, it'd give people some more patience so they don't get fed up and just leave because the whole lobby didn't rate out. Because again, not everybody knows how the lobby timer works and what have you. So I still plenty of people who spam rating up because they don't realize not all 7 people need to rate up to get the game going. But well, we're also on the subject here. I'm going to go ahead and mention that they did fix Danny sounded like Leland when he got thrown on a hook. So I'm actually going to stop talking for a second so you guys can see the before and after on how Danny is supposed to sound like when he dies.
Another disturbance was reported at the abandoned slaughterhouse outside of Hills Prairie. Deputies responded to a caller reporting loud noises from the dilapidated facility after midnight. Police investigated the site and found evidence of trespassing and minor equipment theft, but suspect it is merely the work of local vandals. Authorities were alerted to Helms Ranch yesterday to investigate reports of cattle abuse, but what they found instead was
Pay to get thrown on a hook. $10 well spent.
Now, first, I wanted to point out the fact that Danny was wearing one of his unreleased cosmetics during the initial kill, where it sounded like Leland. So we could potentially see that cosmetic very soon. Again, I'd hope that they'd hold that cosmetic off for when the new family member comes out, as I can confirm there are some leaks that point towards there also being some more recolors for the rest of the victims to match the new ones Danny has, but you didn't hear that from me. But moving on along here, we do have a fix for the lobby timer soft locking. So which I'm sorry, what this was is there was an issue where apparently you get soft locked if you were in the settings before the lobby timer reaches 0. So that has been fixed, and would definitely explain why I've been seeing some people from both sides just stuck in their spawns. So apparently they were fiddling around with the settings before the game starts and they got stuck. So the plot thickens on that one. We have a fix for the Making Grandpa Proud trophy slash achievement. So this is the one where when I believe it was you got all 4 victims killed, you'd get a trophy for that. That was not working, but now it has been confirmed to be working on all of the maps except for the mill and Nancy's house for some reason. They're also saying that PS4 players may still experience this issue, so they hope to be resolving that one quickly. Next up, we have a fix for the match not ending. So this is where sometimes after the last victim was killed or DC, the match would not end. So it's good to see that has been fixed. The biggest offender for this seems to be when someone disconnected before the game started, and you'd start with like let's say three fan members and three victims. This would always seem to happen. Now, this is one I'm glad they finally fixed. There was an issue in Leland's description where it say that Leland could not barge Leatherface. This is a lie. You can barge Leatherface. You just don't knock him on the floor like all the other fan members. So it is good that they have fixed that, and that line is now removed. The Twinkle Toes perk. This is for those of you who do not know, is the perk that makes it so when you run into bones, sometimes it did not trigger. This apparently was not working at all, and now works on all levels as intended, which is funny because I've been trying to upgrade that perk on all characters, which I finally achieved, if I'm not mistaken. And I confirmed I do not recall a single time that that perk stopped me from making noise, so I'm glad that has been fixed. They have fixed some stuck spots on Nancy's house. One where if a victim were to jump down a well on Nancy's house leading to the north tunnel, they'd get stuck in a wall, which is funny. I swear they fixed a lot of those issues already. They've also fixed an issue where if you get knocked down a ladder in the garage from Nancy's bedroom, you would get stuck in a little bookshelf here from the ladder there. They have fixed a stuck spot on the couch in Slaughterhouse. So this is for the family members, sometimes if they grab the blood bucket by the couch there at the by the cutting room, I should say, they get stuck. They fix that by removing that blood bucket, which kind of sucks because that's one less blood bucket that would appear in the facility for Hitchhiker to grab. Pretty sure the cutting room is around where Hitchhiker is. I could be wrong. They have fixed an issue with Cook's padlocks where after you picked one of the padlocks, it would do the bottom lock instead of Cook's actual padlock. So this would still allow Cook to know that there's locks up on said area. However, you would not be able to remove a lock and all that good stuff when they pick the bottom lock instead of the padlock. So I'm glad they fixed that, as that was pretty annoying me, and it was very inconsistent. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it wouldn't. But this is a pretty big one right here. We have Nancy's stamina bar refiller. Apparently, this had to do with running the wait a second perk, which ironically was nerfed. When you had wait a second on, Nancy would get a choose flight effect where her stamina would instantly refill while she was swinging. The clip here shows a perfect example of how strong that was. I'd argue that I wouldn't have killed this Ana here if I didn't have that happening, so it's good to see that was finally fixed. Next up, we have users experiencing constant rubber banding. They have fixed that. Now, I'm not sure if that's a lot of stuff I feel in my games. I personally thought it was just them putting me like on a European server or something, and it was causing lag. Who knows? Maybe it was just a rubber band. That was what I was experiencing. Either way, I hope it makes a lot of my matches feel better, and I hope it like, makes a lot of your guys' matches feel better. Now we have another soft lock issue. Apparently, if you disable the soft, I'm sorry, if you disable crossplay while you're in a lobby, it would soft lock you, as opposed to it now kick you out of a match when you decide to disable the crossplay. Next up, we have an issue with Leatherface spawn. This is where Leatherface would sometimes spawn outside of the basement. Now, I did have a game like this with Leatherface where Grandpa was not awake yet, and I see him running around the house. I personally thought he was hacking. Now I'm starting to see he somehow spawned outside of the basement. Now, I had a clip of this. I don't know what happened to it. I think what happened was my game crashed or something when that happened. I couldn't record it the second time because the first time I didn't record enough of it. But I really wish I had that clip. It was so weird. I'm like, what in the world? I see Leatherface go quick, but that was egregious. Next up, we have a title crash during match reconnect. I'm pretty sure this is when like you start to lag out and you get your internet right, and like the game is trying to reconnect you. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure you can't rejoin after you disconnect. But anywho, they fixed it sometimes crashing when you attempted to reconnect to a match. We have HUD not spit or the HUD not displaying correctly on HDD. Uh, I'm pretty sure that's the hard drive, right? Yeah, so it says we fixed it, an issue where players' HUD would not display properly when installed on an HDD. Next, we have the generator interaction prompt. So this is a pretty big one, I'd say. Basically, the way this worked is if a victim tried to kick a gin from the side, it would bypass the hitchhiker having a trap on the gin. That will not happen anymore. And I have plenty of people, especially on Nancy House, that mentioned they try to bypass his trap by kicking a gin from the side. So I'm glad that cheesy little exploit is gone. I do not want to know how many times someone might have kicked the gin off when there's still a trap up on that poor hitchhiker. We have a lobby crash on Slaughterhouse, which has been fixed. What this was is sometimes a crash happened for a family house after they attacked a victim that tried to climb down the tool storage ladder. I don't recall that being called a tool storage. I'm pretty sure tool storage is underneath Grandpa in the actual shed there, but I could be wrong here. So for our final fix here, we have the blood would glow on Slaughterhouse. They have fixed an issue where blood would sometimes shine yellow in Leatherface's lair. It is now red, as all blood is supposed to be. So with that, we have listed all of the patch notes to the game. Just a quick PSA: the mill map will be free to all players. However, Virginia will cost $9.99 US dollars. So again, this is going to be releasing on a Thursday. So if you haven't called out of work, hey, go for it. I could definitely say I have, and I am crossing my fingers that everything runs smoothly and there's no issues with the game crashing every time we load up like the last update. But I thank you guys so much for putting up with this rather long, tedious patch review here. If you enjoyed what you saw, please give it a like. I'd appreciate it. Be sure to comment down below. Let's keep some conversation going. Get some hype up for this update here. It's more so a victim sided update, but content is content, and this game definitely needs it. And of course, please consider subscribing to my channel. It is free of charge, and it's a simple way of keeping you guys up to date with my videos if you're interested in them. I like to upload at least one video a week, especially on TCM. And as always, if you don't have a life, you should consider getting one. Look, now I'm going to make this work some way, somehow. I don't care what you guys say or what you think. I am going to make the no life thing my ending quote eventually.